welcome back. This is chapter 1, which is about what is economics and the four principles. Okay, so at first, what is the definitions of economics? Does anyone here know about economics definitions? Yeah, many people knows that it is just money, while some people might say that it is just the growth rate or inflation rate or stock. Yes, but remind that economics is not just money. Okay, so in order to know what economics is, we need to know the origins of terms first. Okay, so economics actually comes from the Greek alphabet. Okay, so I don't know well the Greek alphabet well, but it's about um, managing household chores. Okay, so it's about housekeeping. It's cool, right? And so what does housework usually means? It means clearing the room or making money, mowing the lawn, all sorts of the things in your home, right? So each family members have roles in the house. So the family members must decide who plays these roles. So then the family members have to make choices. Okay? They have to make decisions with choices, right? So let me ask you questions. Mostly the parents will earn the money. So can they make an infinite amount of money a month? Probably not, right? So most family members will earn enough money to buy what they need to live. Okay. This is because the world has limited resources. Okay. Do you agree? Right? So Um, limited resources means that the quantities of productive resources available to the economy are finite. Okay, so if we have limited resources in economics, we call this scarcity. So this scarcity is a starting point of economics. Okay, what are some examples of scarcity? There must be natural resources such as gold, wood, and even air. Okay? Natural resources. Okay, so they won't be infinite. Okay, so this scarcity make us think about how to allocate resources efficiently. Okay, so in life, when we make decisions, we have to decide and give up. Okay, do you agree? So what are the most valuable alternative things we should give up when you choose something? So it's called opportunity cost. Okay? Okay? Opportunity cost. Okay? So because scarcity exists in this world, right? And we can consider the opportunity cost in our choices. Okay? So we should consider the cost because we always have to get higher benefits and utility when we choose something. Okay? So that's the opportunity cost. So I can define opportunity cost is the opportunity cost is the through cost of something. Okay, um, is the best is the next best alternative right? You have to give up to get it. Have to give up to get it, right? So that is definitions of opportunity cost. Okay, so the most representative example of these kinds of opportunity cost is LeBron James, who is the NBA player, right? LeBron James went straight to the NBA team after graduating from the high school. Okay, so why didn't he choose the university? This is because he judged that the money he could earn from his talent was higher than the cost of investing in college. Okay, so do you happen to know how much LeBron James is currently paid? It's $44.5 million. It's amazing, right? Okay, but this is that's not to tell you to quit the school right away, because you are also consuming opportunity cost. Okay, so you come to college, come to university, because you think that the money you can earn after graduating from university is higher, right? So after graduating from the university, you can get a great job and you can earn a higher salary. Okay? Okay, so it's about expanding the management of these household tasks into the society. So there are three groups in the society. It's consumer and sellers, government. Okay, so we have three groups in society. So each of these three groups has to make a decisions and choose using a limited resources in society. Okay, they also need to make a decision. Okay, so these things happened right in the market. Okay, in market. Okay, so we will study how the three groups act and decisions decide in the market. Okay, so we are going to look at how resources can be distributed in society. Okay, just for examples, um, we go to market and buy things. Okay, then what are the most important factors when you buy things? I think it's probably the price. Okay? Okay? Price is very important factors where you can decide whether buy or not, right? So if it's a cheap product in the market, you will consume it, right? Then who supplied the products? It's the suppliers, right? Which is the sellers. So it is the companies in general, right? So they usually make and sell products in order to maximize their profits, because companies are not volunteer organizations. So what does the government do in the market? The government is collecting the taxes from them, creating the good policies and distributing resources. Okay? So if the market doesn't work well, the government can get involved. Okay? So now it's time to define the concept of economics. Okay? So economics is to study how to allocate and manage scarce resources. Okay? This is definitions of economics. Okay? And the studying microeconomics is to take a closer look at how these three groups interact in the market. Okay, so to find out the relationship among these three groups in the market, let's look at the circular flow diagram. Okay, circular flow diagram. Okay, so let's say there are two markets. One market is a commodity market. Here, the commodity market is for goods and services. Okay, the other is the labor market, which is employees, workers. Okay, okay, so we have two kinds of the markets. Okay, so we will see is what interaction consumers have with business here. Okay, so in the market for goods and services in here, so for example, there's Walmart. Okay, Walmart, right? And which is can easily found, right? So at Walmart, you are going to pay to buy goods. Okay, so and labor market is a kind of job market. Okay? Mm-hmm. So you put in your resume to get a job and interview, and the companies will hire the right person. Okay, so when consumers like us go to the Walmart and buy things, they demand it, right? So here is the consumers, here is the sellers, right? We will demand goods or services. After that, we will pay money, right, for this, correct? So we are going to pay the market for this, right? So who supplies these things to market? Is a company, which are sellers, right? So sellers usually provide some services, goods and services, right? Goods and services to commodity market, right? After selling things, companies will get the profits. Okay, so they will get profits, right? So profits usually refers to the less of the benefits minus cost. Okay? Profits is benefits minus cost. Okay, this is a profit. Okay, so let's take a look at the labor market. It is kind of a market for factors of productions, which are the labor, land, and capital. Okay, but we focus on just the job market here. So here, the supply and demand are subject to changes compared to other markets. Okay, so it is a labor market. It is the labor force that buys and sells in the labor market. Okay, so companies are going to demand labor, so they hire workers and pay wages, which are kinds of costs for them. They hire workers, right? And they will pay what? Wages. Correct? How about consumers? So consumers will provide the labor force, And after that, they will get the wages, income, right? So that is kinds of behaviors of consumer sellers in the two markets, right? So what does government do in this market? The government provides services to consumers and the business. So for example, government make a policy for consumers and business so that they can have a better living and business environment. Instead, they collect the taxes from them, right? So this is role of the government. Usually, government intervenes when the market is not working properly. Okay, so in here, government, okay, they will provide services and they will collect the tax from consumer and sellers. Okay, that is the kinds of the behaviors of the three groups, such as consumers, sellers, and government. So, so during this course, we will study about these relationships. Okay, so next one is we will study four principles. So four principles can be used for making decisions in your life. Okay, so first one is cost and benefits, because if you make a decisions in the real world, you want to making the higher profit in your life, right? So in this process, you will compare the benefit and cost, right? So if the benefit is greater than cost, you will choose, you will make a choice. On the other hand, the cost is greater than benefit, what will you do? You will not choose, right? In this sense, we can think about entering the university. So, what did you have to give up by coming to this university? Okay, so perhaps one example is that you could get a job, right, and earn money instead, right? So, the opportunity cost is the money that you can earn from the working, so it's wages, right? So, so what are the benefits of choosing a university? Maybe what is benefits? You will get the knowledge from the class, correct? And what? Maybe it's getting a degree will help you get a good job in the future, right? You will get a great job in the future. Okay, so from degree. Okay, so degrees could be a signal of your ability after graduation, right? So you will get a great job. Okay, so what is the cost? What's the cost of entering the college? So maybe tuitions, right? You have to pay every year. That's money to buy books or food and rent fee, right? Books and rent fee and food, right? And the time can be a cost because you spend the time, okay, studying or taking this course, right? So it's time to take classes, it's time to read the books, right? So you're going to compare the benefits with the cost later. And if you benefit are greater than the cost, you will choose to enter the college. Okay, so you are going to choose the university. Okay, here we can think about one of the cost, which is opportunity cost. So economists usually think about the opportunity cost. Okay, so opportunity cost is a third cost that you have to give up to get something. Okay, we already learned. So, what would you have done if you didn't take this course? You can sleep, or you can meet friends to hang out outside, or you can go on the trip, right? So, why should we consider the opportunity cost? The answer is what? Scarcity. Okay. What was a scarcity? Scarcity is the problem when we have limited resources in real world, right? So, because of the scarcity, if people make decisions and what they can face the trade-off. Okay, because of scarcity, people will face trade-off. Okay, therefore they have to consider the opportunity cost. Opportunity cost, right? So this time we will study this opportunity cost principle. Now I will give you an example of how we can calculate opportunity cost in real world. Let's say that we choose MBA class instead of looking for a job, or let's say again you work instead of taking an MBA class. Okay, so example. So if you choose MBA class, right? Here's a choice is MBA. Instead of taking the class of MBA, you can choose full-time job. And that is opportunity cost. Okay? So what do you have to pay to take your MBA classes? You may pay the tuitions, right? And you may pay the rent fee for housings, or you should take a time to study, right? So let's say tuitions for MBA is $60,000. Okay? If you get a full-time job, you do not need to pay the tuitions, correct? And but on the other hand, if you get a full-time job, uh, let's say that we can earn, sorry, $70,000. Okay? So, but if we take the classes of MBA class, we will not earn the money. So, in addition, the rent fee is the $24,000. And if you get a full-time job, you also pay $24,000 for rent, right? You may invest 10 hours a day when you work or study. Okay, so the time you spend 10 hours for study, 10 hours for work, right? Correct? What are the total opportunity costs? Okay, so $60,000 to invest in the MBA plus $70,000, okay, which is the what you can earn when you work. So in this case, the opportunity cost is $60,000 and earnings $70,000. Okay. So what is the rental fee and the time here? Okay. So it's called sunk cost. It's a cost that cannot be recovered anymore because it's already been used, right? So these costs are not taken into account for opportunity cost. Okay, so what is the total opportunity cost? $60,000 plus $70,000. So total opportunity cost is $130,000, right? So we can get opportunity cost as this amount. Okay, so remind that if we get an opportunity cost, if we consider opportunity cost, we don't need to consider the sunk cost, such as rent fee and time, right? Okay, now scarcity used to make a people face the trade-off. So from this trade-off relationship, you can derive a production possibility frontier or production possibility curve. Okay, so we can call it as PPF or PPC. PPF or PPC. Okay. Okay, so let's draw the graph. Let's say we study economics and accounting. Okay. Okay. So production possibility frontier reflects um, the trade-off between studying accounting and studying economics. Okay, so we have the this line. So let's say that if you focus on only economics, right? So you can get 80 points on the test. Here is 80. Okay. On the other hand, if we focus on the accountings, you will get 90 points on the test. So let's say this one is A, this one is B. Okay. So in addition, I will give you some points from the D to E. Here is anyway C, and here is E, and here is D. Okay. So these are the points you get when you invest in economics and accounting together. Okay. Okay, now, so let's see the point C in here. The C is on the curve. Okay, so C has the appropriate invested your best efforts in economics and accounting. So you can get 40 points. You can get a 40 points for economics, and you can get a 50 points for accounting. Okay, what about D in here? D is placed outside of this curve, right? So the D point is actually impossible. Okay? Impossible points. So you need to be in this graph to use your effort. Okay. So if this dot placed inside of this curve, you can spend your effort. But if the points the place outside of this curve, it is not from your effort. Okay, so that is the impossible point. Okay, so how about E points? E points anyway placed inside of this curve, right? So in this case, you can get a 50 for accounting. In addition, you can get a 20 points for economics test, right? So this point is where you can spend less your effort, Okay, so this point is anyway possible, but inefficient. Okay, what is the efficient choices? That's point C, right? In this case of the C, you can spend your fully effort, right, for studying accounting and economics. Okay, so this curve shows allocations of what? Efficient resources. Okay, EPC is efficient allocation. Okay, resources. Okay, so to recap, the PPC or PPF is efficient points. The points inside is the PPC are possible, but points outside the PPC are not possible. So the trade-off comes from the scarcity and is efficient when you make the most scarce resources, right? So that is in terms of PPF and PPC, okay? So any questions about this? That's good? Okay. Okay, so let's move on to the concept of marginal principle. So marginal is equivalent to additional. Okay, so for example, when you spend a unit of money to buy something in the market, amount of things increasing by a unit is the marginal. Okay, so here we need to know important assumptions in economics, and that is people are rational. Okay, people are rational. Okay, so um, it's assumed that they do their best for their goals. Okay, do one's best to achieve one's goal. Okay, that is important assumptions of economics. So let me give you an example of rational. So let's say you are walking down the street, but you happen to find $1 and $5 on the street. Yes, then what are you going to pick up? $1 or $5? The answer is to pick up both, right? So that is the rational choice. So consumers will try to maximize their satisfaction. Max, okay. And in addition, company would like to maximize their profits. Okay, because of rational. Okay, so so when you look at how much they consume or sell, when they consume or sell things, we can use the concept of margin. Okay, so margins is means that we can consider the how many consume of stuff or sell the stuff. For example, if we study exam, we can consider the how much we can study per hour. Okay, so another example is that if we want to eat the 5 apples, 5 apples, um, then you can decide whether to eat one or not. Okay, one more or not. Correct? Okay, so when choosing whether to eat the sixth apple or not, we can consider the margin benefit and marginal cost. Okay? I will give you a blue one. Marginal benefits and marginal cost. The marginal benefit is your expectations from the sixth apples, and the marginal cost is the indigestions. Okay, there's the expectations. You have the marginal cost is indigestion. Okay, because we are full already, right? Your satisfaction is greater than marginal cost, you will choose to eat more. However, if the marginal cost is greater than marginal benefit, you will not choose to eat one more. Correct? So, when does the most reasonable consumption happen? It's when the marginal benefits and the marginal cost are equal. Okay? Correct? So this is whether your economic surplus is at its peak. Okay? So we can call it as rational rule. Okay, so let's think about if you can eat the sixth apple and the seventh apple. So it means that even after eating the sixth apple, the marginal is greater than the marginal cost, right? Because you can eat the sixth apple. The economic surplus is the maximums when you feel like you have to stop eating the seventh apple. Okay, so this is why we call rational rule, correct? Does make sense? Okay. So what are the six apples that you already consumed? It's probably the sunk cost. So we don't take it into considerations when you make a decision. And I will give you an example. When you go to Starbucks in the school's underground, you know, so and buy cups of coffee. So cups of Americano cost about $3. Okay, so let's say we have the 5 cups of the coffee, and the benefits we can get from that are $8. I'll give you an example. Quantity of coffee: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the total benefits you will get um, $8, $14, $18, $20, $21. Okay, so we want to get marginal benefits using this information. Okay, so how many marginal benefits are these depending on the quantity? So it's increased by $14 from $18 here, right? So the difference is $6. Okay, correct? In the same way, 18 minus 14, $4. Okay, same way is what? 20 minus 18, $2. 21 minus 20, we have $1, right? So that is the marginal benefit we can get from the quantity of the coffee, correct? So it's time to compare the marginal cost because of the making decisions using a rational rule, right? marginal benefit and marginal cost, right? So if the marginal benefit is greater than marginal cost, we need to make a decisions, right? So the $3 is the price, but if you purchase the quantity of cups, one, you have to pay $3. For two, you also pay more $3, right? So we can know that the $3 is marginal cost, right? So $6 is greater than $3. $4 is greater than $3, but $2 is less than $3, right? So in this case, you will purchase only 3 cups of coffee, right? Okay, that is the process of making decisions, right? Using a marginal principles. Okay. So far, we have studied the concept of economics and the benefit cost and opportunity cost and margin. Okay, so now we are going to study the last principle, which is interdependence principle. Okay, so this interdependence principles means that your best choices are influenced by your other choices. Your other choices. So I will give you an example. Let's say you are going to school cafeteria for having a lunch, and instead of cooking at home, you are going to school cafeteria, right? So this is influenced by your personal choices. Okay, so depends on each of your personal choices, right? So you can choose cafeteria instead of cooking at home. Okay. By the way, if you go to the cafeteria, there were so many students in the cafeteria that you end up going to another restaurant. Okay. So in this case, it's influenced by other decisions, right? So depends on other decisions. Okay, because of a lot of students in cafeterias. Okay. However, you can find another restaurant try to discount the price of all food by 10%. You can choose another restaurant, right? So in this case, it depends on development in other market. Okay, depends on development of other markets. Okay, so in this case, you can find another restaurant that discount on price of food. Okay, so choosing a school cafeteria instead of cooking at home can save your time, right? So it also depends on time. Okay, save your time. So when this factor changes, your best choice uh, will be changed. Okay, because this is the interdependence principle. So now we have studied all 4 principles that are needed for the decision-making process. So next time we will study chapter 2.